Guys, we're back. It's another Tuesday. You found the canceled Misfits show. We are so happy to help you, me and my surprise guest. I don't think anyone's going to be able to guess who this person is. I have an idea that you will be able to. First, housekeeping. I'm going to need you to like this video. That's the prerequisite to watching it. It's very important. Helps me out a lot. Put in a comment, not only in the live chat, but in the regular comment section. That, again, helps push this video out. Also, ring the bell. What's going to happen is little Tim is going to come and knock on your door every day for a month and tell you and remind you personally to watch another one of my videos. That plan may backfire. So, hopefully it doesn't. But it just might. Otherwise, we're happy to have you today. I want you to think on this. I have a question for you guys, and it goes along with the theme of the show. What was the craziest thing you've heard happen to a school near you? I want you to drop it in the chat section. My guest will be monitoring it, so he may point it out to me and I may read it out. Also, any questions you have, again, put them in there. I would love to answer. Let's get to All right, now for the surprise guest. Who else would it be, guys? Come on in. It's the end of planning season. I had to make sure he came back, and I really had to call him and just nag him to come. Marcus, how you been, man?
Um, been tired, putting in the hours, trying to get it done. But we've done it. And we've never done it faster. Which is kind of why we work the hours. But it was nice to be back on. It was a surprise whenever I started to text. Said, "Hey, I think I can get on tonight."
I was like, yes, yes, my show's gonna be so much better. We love having you on. Even if it's just me saying that, I love having you on because that means I don't have to talk for 30 minutes straight. Because I hate that. It is always a blast.
I enjoy coming and talking. It's a great way to keep me updated in the news. A great way to help grow our friendship. So.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we've talked about this before, many times actually. So I feel like we should know what we're talking about a little bit at this point, but we're going to keep beating this dead horse. What dead horse might you say? Well, if you looked at the title of the episode, you may know. That is, what's happening in schools to your kids in public schools. So, this is hard to read because you'll find out. Fox News did some research and found that as of like May, I think it was May 13th, at least 135 teachers and aides have been charged with sex crimes this year, child sex crimes, just this year, just since the new year. And I have to say, how many of them have not been caught? Marcus, you've made this comment before. How many of them have not been caught? What are your thoughts on this, just to start off with?
There's always it's more sickening than the ones that have got caught.
Because he could do it again, for starters.
Exactly. They're bound to get caught eventually, but how many lives are they ruined by the time they get caught? And I mean, it's messed up that we have people who are going in to teaching and to better our country as a teacher of the young in this country, and then to have them just violate like that. It's insane. We should, as a country, we should be absolutely sick. I mean, sick to our stomach seeing this, because this is who we're entrusting our future with, is these teachers, and they're messing up these kids. So it sickens me, and I hate.
One word you said there that's very important that's going to pop up again is entrusting. It really is what parents do, because for 7 hours a day, 5 days a week, you send your kids to these people with the expectation that they're going to teach them how to do, 2 plus 2, how to read at a proficient grade level for where they are at, and teach them about history in a fair way, teach them about science. You expect them to go through all of these subjects, teaching them, you know, with a fairness, but also staying away from things like, I don't know, sexual morality, especially at 3rd grade. But it doesn't happen. I'm going to keep reading real quick from here. An analysis conducted by Fox News Digital looked at local news stories week by week featuring arrests of teachers and teachers' aides on child sex-related crimes in school districts across the country. Arrests, and this is very important to the fact that to the facts that we both presented here, which is arrests that weren't publicized were not counted. So they were only trolling the news. They weren't going to court houses and looking up arrest records. This was only in the news. So the true number is probably much higher than that. And that's just the ones that get caught. Like I said, there's plenty that don't get caught. It's a scary world for parents out there to send their kids. Which leads me to my next statistic that I've used on here before. It's been a while, so I don't blame you if you have forgotten it. This is a government analysis done of schools, of public schools. It was done back in 2017, published in September of that year. And the biggest takeaway from this is that an estimated 10%, so 2017, an estimated 10% of K through 12 students will experience sexual misconduct by a school employee by the time they graduate high school. Now, how many kids is that in real numbers? One's too many. I mean, can we both agree on that, Marcus? One's too many? One is way too many.
But in the state, it's 1 in 10. So
Do you want to take a guess without looking at the notes how many kids that comes out to, Marcus?
you said is that 10% each year?
It's 10% of students in K through 12 who are in K through 12 in 2017 will experience sexual misconduct by a school employee. Do you want to take a guess at how many kids that are in real numbers?
Like 312,000.
You are off by a full order of magnitude there. That would not even be 1%. That is 5 million kids. That is 5 million kids who will be entrusted to somebody, and then who will take advantage of that relationship. 5 million kids. That number is mind blowing. Like, I just want you to try and imagine just how big 5 million is. Okay, think like, how many eggs can you throw at someone's house if you have 5 million eggs? Like, I don't know why that's the first thought that came to my head, but just imagine how tired your arm would be throwing that many eggs. Just imagine having $5 million just given to you. It goes on, and that's how many students, many of whom are still in the K through 12 system, who started in 2017 or were already in it, that is going to be abused. And this isn't just some crackpot, research institute. This is OJP.gov. So the National Institute of Justice grant that went into this study that finds this, which is just mind-boggling, Marcus. I mean, Marcus, how would you describe that? I need to look this way. That's like three of your tractors y'all have.
And that's how many kids have been assaulted
or well, how that's estimated how many will be assaulted in the next 12 years starting in 2017. 5 million. The problem's not going away. They did another study in 2004. It found roughly the same thing. If anything, this is getting worse. And it's getting worse because teachers are going into schools with the mindset of, we want to talk to kids about this. And how far is the elite from sexualizing kids in that way, saying kindergartners, even they're starting to say from birth now, by the way. So if you really get into this whole crap that they're getting into, they're starting to say, oh, infants are sexualized at birth. They need to be educated on sex at birth. I'm not sure how that works, Marcus. I'm not sure how you teach that to a 0-year-old. But that's what they're going for. Is it really such a surprise? And I'm asking this of you, Marcus, and I'm asking this of you, audience. Is it such a surprise that people who actively say they're going into schools to talk about not only their own sexual orientation and gender identity, but also their students' sexual orientation and gender identity, how much is this stretch? And the numbers bear this out. How much is the stretch that they are the ones getting in trouble for sexualizing kids? It's getting worse. And go ahead.
Data matches because they want sexualization of kids, but I think the fact that they're having all these different sexual.
Hold on, you're
like all this stuff. The fact that you can be who you want to be, it makes people more likely.
Hold on, you're saying there's no correlation. I'm sorry, I have to ask you this because I just want to make sure we're clear on this. You're saying that a group of people who publicly state that they want to go into schools to talk to sex with kids, there's no correlation between them actually performing sex acts on and with, I don't want to say with, because you can't consent as a kid, but on kids.
No, I'm saying I'm not saying that those people are the ones doing the acts. Not that they're not responsible for it. Just that I can't say that they are the ones performing the acts. So, I'm saying that their attitude towards sexuality is what's causing this. Because nowadays you even see people that say that being a pedophile is not something sick. I've heard people say that being a pedophile is a sexual preference. That is.
They've gone to minor attracted persons. That's what they're called now. Minor attracted persons, trying to make it sound normal.
Yeah, so it's people that are like that. Feel like they're comfortable with themselves. So I feel like, yes, it is less fault because of the way that they push the narrative to be yourself and, not to be, worried about, worried about what people think of you. But I can't say that themselves are that. Things like that.
They can hear you. I'm actually looking at your levels right now, and you're up. So you just need to speak louder. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with your levels, but I'm looking at it right now, and it looks good. I'm gonna keep going on. Hopefully that problem goes away, but we're gonna make it through. So, this is manifesting in our own backyard. We've talked about it. We've talked about what happened with the Little Johns and how they're suing the school here in Leon County's school board for basically socially transitioning their daughter without telling them, actively keeping them away. And it's even worse. It's not worse than that, but it's bad in another way. So, Cobb Middle School, here in Tallahassee, Cobb Middle School. The headline is saying parents are getting in our way, and I don't want to take that out of context. So let's go through a little bit of the story from the Tallahassee Reports. So it says Sarah Henry, a principal at Leon County's Cobb Middle School, recently addressed the controversy over the parental rights in education legislation and the role of parents in education in a Facebook post. So Hembry wrote that teachers, here's the quote, want to decide what they teach in their classroom based on the needs of the student in front of them, which is so insidious. I want to stop right there. It's so insidious that they talk about, oh, we're just trying to 100%, because this is all about the, parental rights in education, which, might I remind you, the controversial part is saying that people in schools can't talk about sexual orientation or gender identity with kids ages 5 through 8, basically, kindergarten through 3rd grade, or in a way that's not developmentally appropriate. That's, again, what they have the issue with. And then she's saying they want to teach in their classrooms what, the needs of the students in front of them. I think that I disagree that parents and these teachers who want to teach this stuff, I disagree that that's the needs of the students. But let's continue. She goes on saying, I did not put the uppercase here, so tired of being told we don't know what we are doing or that we are messing with parents' rights. Well, you're in a school system that socially transitioned a student and actively kept it from the parents. So I don't know what you're talking about here. You are actively messing with parents' rights. And then she went on to say this. She said the quiet part out loud. Today I say, parents, quit pushing for stupid bills and getting in our way. Schools are going to do what's best for the students in spite of you. Direct quotes, in spite of you. First of all, keep trying this. Keep pushing this far left agenda. I mean, you keep messing with parents. Parents will fight for their kids, so thank goodness for that. Marcus, what do you say to this?
Be able to know what's best for every kid when that's just not going to be the case. How would a school know it better than a parent who spent every moment of their life since the birth of that child? And sometimes we accept, worrying what's best for their kid, or trying to do what's best for that kid, and they know the kid better than anybody sometimes. And you mean to tell me that they're teaching, even in small, 20, 30 people, and that's small classes or small schools. Even the teachers that teach that little, you think that they can know kids more than the parents do? That they're going to do right for every kid? There's just no way. There's no way that you can do that.
Well, the absolute hubris it takes to look at a group of, like you said, 20 to 30 kids, to look at this group and to say, I care about each and one of you, each and every one of you, more than your parents do. And then for a principal to go and say, I care about all of these students more than your stupid parents do. So tell them to stop getting in our way. Tell them to stop pushing stupid bills. Please, by all means, keep trying this. Please keep. I say please keep doing this, but I of course don't want them to keep doing this. But at the same time, the more they try to do this, the more parents are just going to come back and just smack them. It really is. It's really going to happen. It's going to happen in November. It's going to happen at the local levels. People are going to start saying, hey, we need school board members who actually care about parents, because that's who elects. That's the dumbest thing, is they're making parents an interest group. It really, all in elections up from all the way from the presidency, which is not up, of course, on this ballot, but all the way from there, all the way down the line to school board members. They are making parents an interest group. And it's wonderful. I feel like November's going to be very fun to watch. I can't wait, because every time someone says schools are doing what's best for the parents in spite of you, and or for the student in spite of the parents, that's another 150 people just right up there saying, "Hey, I'm voting you. I'm doing everything I can to get you out of my kid's life as it should be." And that's the takeaway we should get from this, Marcus. I think is that, and we beat this dead. We are beating this drum, but that's how important it is. Parents, it is up to you to stand up for. It is up for you to protect your kids. It's up for you to stand up and say, "No, we're not letting this happen. We're not going to stand for this." And it may be, if you're in Leon County school systems, move outside of the county, like, which is hard to do. I get it's hard to do with gas prices so high and moving's not easy. But if you don't want your kids to be subjected to this, that may be what it takes. Taking them to Liberty or, out the other way. I can't think of the county right now. It's you just got to get them away. Marcus, what do you think?
I think that, like you said, it's going to force parents to vote against this whenever they realize I'm not as involved in kids' life and their school life as I want to be. Because a good parent's going to want to know what their kids learn, how they're doing, how they like it, what they enjoy, what they don't enjoy about it. And whenever you've got people trying to push against that, it is going to really tick some people off. And it's like a comment said they should be worried about the 3 R's: reading, writing, and arithmetic. Let the parents do the rest. And it's kind of like a lot of those people quote, let the pro athletes just play basketball or just play football. And I know you got your opinion and you want to share, what you think, but it's not really your place to impact some kids that way, and you have such an influence over people sometimes whenever you're a teacher or somebody that plays professional sports, and you can really, just because you feel a little upset over this or that, or that it's not going your way, you can ruin a kid, and what the teacher, what the parents are going to do for that kid. And it's sad that push the parents out of that equation even more to let the liberal agenda kind of set in more. And it upsets me when you see this going on. So I can only imagine parents who've had this happen, just how upset they are.
Oh, I've heard of it. I've heard Miss Littlejohn speak. Oh, absolutely. I've heard Miss Littlejohn speak, and she speaks with passion. If you remember a few months ago, we played a video on here of a mother in Salinas, California, who's the same thing happened to her child, and you could just hear the voice of a mother who just was in anguish because of what had happened to her kid without her knowledge. I mean, there is hope. That's the other thing I want to put out today. There is hope. If you look at what happened back at the beginning of November in Virginia, where this basically said the same thing out loud. Terry McAuliffe said to the effect of parents should not have any say in their kids' education. It was something like that. I don't remember the direct quote off the top of my head. In 2020, Trump lost the suburbs by a heavy margin. The suburbs in Virginia. After Terry McAuliffe said that, Glenn Youngkin, who is much more moderate than Donald Trump, I'm not going to try to make a full equivalency here, but he won those same suburbs, those same mamas protecting their kids by like 58-47, and that's what really carried him over the top. So there is hope. I know that's a little bit of political history there, but there is hope. There is hope if parents band together, stand up, and say, "You cannot have my kid." That is what can happen in a blue state, in a blue area. That is what can happen. So don't lose hope. We're about it. That's about all, guys. I want to say thank y'all so much for coming to watch. If you're watching this later on down, thank you for watching it. Leave a like, leave a comment, hit the bell, subscribe. Do all the YouTubey things. Do all the YouTubey things that everyone asks for. But it's important for this channel because you get the news here that you won't hear anywhere else. Especially if you don't ever watch the news. And if you're not, shame on you for not knowing what's going on. So, yeah, I'm putting you on blast. No, guys, go out and do something that, would make a leftist want to cancel you because you're probably doing something right. Marcus, any last words?
It was a blast, man. I enjoyed it. Hope to be in the near future.
Oh, I'm glad that you came back. I'm glad that I could drag you by the ear back. All right. Y'all have a great rest of your week. I will see you next Tuesday, and who knows, we may have more surprises in store. See ya.